Hi, my name is Kafui Day. Are you looking for that show about men, for men? Well, watch out for Mandahub Unplugged. Bachelors, married, divorced, searching in complicated relationships. Everything about men, for men. It's Mandahub Unplugged. Stay tuned.
Mandahub Unplugged means life matters.
Hi there, have you heard about Mandahub Unplugged? You better watch it. There's a lot to learn. It's informative, it's revealing, it's very healthy for the mental well-being of every single human being, not just men. Don't miss it. I am Ohinere Gifty Auntie, and I love it.
Mandahub Unplugged means life matters.
Do you know encouragement is a two-way sword?
Of course, for both those who are doing very well and those who are not really doing very well, both and everyone needs to be encouraged. In fact, it's a psychological fact and truth that deep-seated in every one of us is that need to be heard and to be loved.
This is one of the most important reasons why Mandahub Unplugged TV show platform is created.
Created to unmute the inner voice of men and to unpack the emotions. Here at Mandahub Unplugged, we educate, we inspire, and we empower men, dads and husbands to become the better and the best versions of themselves.
Do you know of any inspiring story of any male, either dad, either husband, or a man,
that you feel that we should talk with or talk to or interact with and feature on our show? Or you are that man yourself, you've been locked up, bottled up, so much to share, nobody to talk to, and you're struggling. You yearn to be heard, you yearn to talk to someone. We will listen to you.
Unmute that voice and talk to us.
Mandahub Unplugged. We got you.
Mandahub Unplugged means life matters.
Do you know our emotion drives our emotions in life? And how important is our emotions to our emotions in life? On this episode, we will find out. Before I continue, allow me to introduce our August visitor, our #1 counselor on the show. I'm sure you are all familiar with him. He is in the person of Apostle Theophilus Jeffreys, and he's the lead pastor and founder of Ever Flourishing City Chapel International. He is the president and founder of Accra College of Professional Coaching and Training Institute. He is a certified life success management, leadership, and relationship coach. He is a certified financial and emotional intelligence and therapist, transformational counselor. Apostle, you are welcome to today's episode. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Well, as my calling, once I have the privilege to educate, to teach, to inspire, to empower people, it's always a dream come true. So being on this platform again to educate, I think it's good to be here again.
You're welcome, Apostle. So let's dive straight onto today's episode. How important is our emotions?
Like you've rightly said, our emotions actually drives our emotions in life. These two words are not synonymous. They're actually together. When we say emotion and motion. Now, your motion is your drive, your energy, your zest, your ability to face your day, to do whatever you got to do, your passion. So when you wake up in the morning with a bad energy, which is, let's say, bad emotion, that people call it, because there's not like a bad emotion. It's just natural emotions.
Okay.
Anger is not a bad emotion. Sadness is not a bad emotion. They are all just natural emotions. but people misconstrue them as bad. But when you wake up with most of these low energy emotions, that's what they are. Because sadness is not a high energy emotion. It's a low energy emotion. Guess how your day will go. Somebody gets up with excitement, with happiness, with joy. He faces the day with so much energy, with so much zest and courage. So anybody with a low emotion would have slow pace motion. Your day will become slow. Your activity becomes slow once your emotion are slow. So people should understand that you can't separate your emotion from your motion. The two are together.
But let me ask you, why would anybody call the slow energy as bad? What makes it bad?
Well, you see, because something misinformation. Misinformation is all over the place. Even research is always ongoing on. They say, we've now discovered that this and that doesn't work. Previously, people termed most of this emotion as bad emotion. So we label them. In emotional intelligence, we tell people that you must not label negative emotion. That's why people don't want to say you are angry. When you say you are angry, you feel as if they are telling you like something bad. So we try to shy away. We stigmatize most of these emotions.
What happened to someone who is angry and based on that anger does something bad, or does something wrong, or does something really, really bad? So is it not bad enough?
If I have to educate on anger, anger is a natural emotion. It's a tool in your hand. You determine what you do with it. Anger can allow you to do good and can allow you to do bad. People don't believe that. But anger is a tool. It's just like a knife. A knife is a tool in your hand. Anger is just like fire. It can do good, it can do bad. So anger is not bad. When you tame it bad, you're going to be given excuse that, oh, it's a bad anger. There's not like bad anger. Although there are several types of dimensions of anger. We have compulsive anger. We have obsessive anger. We have dependency anger. Different kinds of anger.
And I think we'll find another time to dive deeply into the anger.
So there's nothing like a bad emotion. People should stop calling sadness. Sadness is a natural emotion. Why? Life vicissitudes comes to us in different formats.
Also, this is a word. Break it down.
There are times life comes to you as a game.
Okay.
At times life comes to you as a war.
Okay.
At times life comes to you as a gift. I don't know where you are now. I don't know how life has presented itself to you now. There's somebody listening to me now. To him, life is a war. You must face it. Another person, life is a gift. He's enjoying it. Another person, life is like a whole puzzle where you just don't understand what is going on in your life. So most of these things can trigger different emotional this within your system. So somebody whose life is in shambles, you can't get the head from tail. This person can't be happy. It will take a strong, mentally tough individual who is emotionally sound to be able to decode that I am sad, I am not happy. What is the reason why I am not happy? Because you see, emotions are data.
Okay.
So you use data to draw conclusion. So when you notice that you are sad, you should name it and nail it. What that happens is that, why are you sad? Quiz yourself.
Okay.
Why am I sad? You cannot just be sad for no reason. Something triggered your sadness. Can you find it? Can you name it? If you can name it, you can nail it. Most people don't want to name it. That's why I said no one should stop. People should stop calling most of these low energy emotions bad. They are natural emotions that people should have, and people should be able to know how to deal with it.
Okay, so when you say nail it, what does it mean?
You see, nail it means that you lay hold on it. For example, when I'm getting angry, in emotional intelligence, we call something self-awareness. Okay. You must have a highly self-awareness skill. A lot of people, their self-awareness skill is so low. She's not even aware she's getting angry. She's not even aware that this thing that the person has said is going to get you provoked. So you're not self-aware. Now, in emotional intelligence, is self-awareness. Self-awareness enables self-regulation.
Wow.
When you are self-aware that I'm getting angry, this is getting me angry, then you can hold it.
But is it not toxic when you are angry and you have to hold it?
So the word hold, the word hold it, there's not to suck it in, because that is even wrong. It'll be called that emotional rigidity, where you are being rigid. For example, when you are getting angry, they say you are getting angry. Accept that, yes, I'm getting angry.
Must someone notify that you are getting angry? You should know it yourself.
If you refuse to notify yourself, people can notify you. But because, again, I said people don't want to be associated with it. So anger, the Bible says that get angry, but sin not. Which means that the Bible allows us to get angry. Do you know that anger is that little child in you that wants you to be treated fairly? So anytime you are angry, there are several reasons. One, either your boundaries have been crossed. So you are getting angry, you are provoked. Anytime you are getting angry, it means that either your expectations have not been met. That's what we call anger, the kind of anger that is born out of obsession, dependency. You feel that somebody should do something. Oh, you should have done this for me. In marriage, a wife and a husband, the wife's birthday, she's expecting the husband to buy her something. Expectance. That's why if you don't know how to manage your expectations, you can carry a lot of little pieces of anger within you. Unfulfilled expectation triggers most of this anger, which comes in the form of little annoyance, displeasure. It grows into resentment. It grows into malice. That level, you're going to become so bitter. So people don't reach a state of bitterness just by chance. It started with little annoyance. Little annoyance is building up. So if you don't know how to name, you can't nail. The word nail means you identify it. I am angry. I am getting sad. I am not happy. Agree with it. You see, a new study shows that radical acceptance of our emotions is one of the safest keys to emotional resilience in this time we live in. Readily accept your emotion. Whichever one it is, accept it. But most people, like in emotion management, you are either going to release your emotion, you're either going to express it, you're either going to suppress it. All this is wrong. You don't release your emotion. You don't suppress them. You don't express them. You communicate. You see, most people don't know that emotions are versatile. They are dynamic. Like I said, emotions are data. You must collect data, you study data, and then with the study, you make decision. When you study your data, it gives you a verdict, a conclusion. Then you make decisions with it. Your emotions are data, whichever one it is. But people don't know that when it comes to anger as an emotion, there are different types. For example, you have to call obsessive anger, that most people don't even know how serious and how dangerous that can be. Obsessive anger is the kind of anger born out of where people feel that they are entitled. You must. You should. You have to. You have to. You have to. Do you see people's facial expression and their demeanor when they are using such words? You see the authoritativeness, the boldness, the defiance with which they say it, with a frown. Most people like that, they would live depressed life because you are trying to control people. You have to. You should. Didn't you see? Especially when you are driving in some of these block cities where there's maybe a car knock another car. Didn't you see my car? Like you should have stopped for me. Who should have stopped for me?
We know this more from the men, right? The men have got that more, or you would say that the women also have more than that, more than the men.
Well, it depends on the situation and depends on the emotional state of the individual. There are people that you see today who will come out of his car and be shouting. The other day you see he won't shout because his emotional state is different. Like we said earlier on, your emotions determine your motion in life. So somebody is in a bad state, irritability, mood swing, anxiety, depression, they will be easily provoked.
Okay, so continuing from our previous episode, we are going to talk about the emotional ventilation, and we have a doctor in the house. So we would like to take a short commercial break, and when we return, I would introduce our doctor to the viewers. Do you know encouragement is a two-way sword?
Of course. For both those who are doing very well and those who are not really doing very well, both and everyone needs to be encouraged. In fact, it's a psychological fact and truth that deep-seated in every one of us is that need to be heard and to be loved.
This is one of the most important reasons why Mandahub Unplugged TV show platform is created?
Created to unmute the inner voice of men and to unpack the hidden emotions. Here at Mandahub Unplugged, we educate, we inspire, and we empower men, dads and husbands to become the better and the best versions of themselves.
Do you know of any inspiring story of any male, either dad, either husband, or a man,
that you feel that we should talk with, or talk to, or interact with, and feature on our show? Or you are that man yourself, you've been locked up, bottled up, so much to share, nobody to talk to, and you're struggling. You yearn to be heard, you yearn to talk to someone. We will listen to you.
unmute that voice and talk to us.
Mandahub Unplugged. We got you.
Mandahub Unplugged means life matters.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying back. And we have Doctor in the house. She's in the person of Rida Corey. I don't know if I got the name right. Doc, did I get the name right?
You got it right.
You are welcome to Mandahub Unplugged. This show is for men, with men, and all about their mental health. And today we're discussing emotional ventilation. Is there a biological relationship between our emotions and our organs as human beings? Especially, let's dive to the male aspect.
So the answer to your question is a big yes. Okay. There's a relation between our emotions and our body systems. When we say emotions, we could have positive emotions or negative emotions. Okay. So positive emotions could include joy, having a positive outlook, gratitude, and some negative emotions could be fear, guilt, anxiety, or a feeling of self-pity. Okay. So just as positive emotions have a positive effect on health, negative emotions also has a negative effect on our health. Okay. So some of the positive effects on health is that when you express positive emotions, it tends to reduce your level of stress. It also helps to boost your immune system. And we know that as humans, our immunity is everything. It's what helps us to fight against infections. So when you express more of positive emotions, then it means that your risk of having infections is very low. And research has also shown that it improves longevity, as opposed to someone who is always expressing negative emotion. Imagine expressing feelings of depression. If you realize people who are depressed, in the long run, tend to have suicidal thoughts and end up killing themselves. That is how bad positive emotions express itself. So aside these effects that negative emotions have on our organ systems, it also has an effect on our mind as well. Right. Imagine you having to prepare for an interview, but you are expressing feelings of anxiety. You are well prepared for the interview, all right, but you get there and because of a certain perceived fear or fear of the unknown, you see the panelist and then you suddenly have thought block. Yeah. So this even reduces your chances of being picked because it makes it look like you are unprepared or you don't know what you are really about, when that is not the case. And then negative emotions ultimately increases our stress levels. And too much stress on the body has effect on the whole organ system. According to traditional medicine in China, according to research, it has effects on the kidneys, on the brain, on the heart. Specifically from research, they said when you have feelings of fear, it negatively affects your kidney. When you have emotions of anger, it has negative effects on your liver. And then when you worry a lot, it has negative effects on your spleen. And when you have, I think, guilt, it has negative effects on your lungs. So it's a whole body system altogether.
Doctor, when I want to bring this to the level to our men, you know, they are always under emotional stress. So how are they going to take control? Do they have the power to take control over how they feel? Because some situations, it's out of hand. They don't know what to do, but emotions set in. How do they control it? How can we help any man listening to us today?
So first and foremost, pertaining to our culture, we have this belief that as men, when we are going through issues, we shouldn't express them. When you express yourself, it gives this impression that you are not man enough.
Really?
So first and foremost, this assertion needs to be cleared out of the way. And men should be told to be expressive. If you express yourself, it doesn't mean you are less of a human or you are not strong.
Viewers, you heard it from Doctor. Express yourself, my men out there. You not talking doesn't mean you are the strongest of all. It is better you open up than die in silence. Let's continue.
As they always say, a problem shared is half solved. So as men, we should be man enough to voice out when we are going through issues. Probably there's someone by your doorway who can help you, but once you don't express yourself, how will someone help you? And you keep wallowing in that emotion, and we only get to hear of your death, which would have been avoided.
So how do we help this man out there, Doc? Now that I've got you here, what are the proceedings, or what are the measures to take as a man when he's going through? Yes, they will talk, but what can we do to help this man to start talking now? Do they have to see a counselor? Or maybe I have to throw these questions to Apostle, since he's the counselor and the emotionologist in our midst. Apostle, how do we help such men? Because like Doctor rightly said, most men are seen as weaker vessels when they begin to talk about their pains and their emotions. If they talk too much, they feel bad man kasabibre, but they need to talk. So Apostle, how can you help them in solving this? What do you have to tell the men?
You see, like I said in a previous episode where I explained that the emotion that comes to all of us, whichever one it is, stays in your body for 1 minute, 30 seconds. Within that space, what you do with it is what is going to determine whether it's going to become toxic or it's going to help you. We teach men that they shouldn't bottle. You see, I explained that anything that you contain, like water, whatever, they all have an expiry date. Once you contain the emotion, you zip it, you deny it, it will exist the more. Do you know that even in the church, we say, oh, just forgive and let go. Do you know that forgive and let go is toxic? It's toxic because somebody I have an issue with someone. I want to talk. But, it's okay, don't talk lie. You just let it go. Let sleeping dog lie. Let sleeping dog lie allows the dogs to grow and become wild lions. Sleeping dogs should not lie. People should be encouraged to express their displeasure. People should be allowed to express what they are not happy about. People should be allowed to express what is eating them up. People should be allowed. You see, in our society here, once you are even trying to talk about what you are not happy about, they say you are angry. Don't talk to the person who doesn't feel your pain. You are wasting your time talking to somebody who doesn't feel your pain.
But how would they know this person doesn't feel my pain?
It's a work. Because if someone doesn't,
but Apostle,
why should I talk to somebody who doesn't feel my pain?
Apostle, like example, I am angry. I need to speak with Doc. At this moment, how am I going to assess whether Doc can feel my pain or not? Because already all I want to do is to talk to somebody.
Do you know a tool or a scenario some people use? They drive and go to the beach. Find a stranger that you don't know at all. Just talk.
Just to chip in, I know a man when he's very angry, he just goes into the gym. There's a boxing thing there. He just be hitting it with all the energy and be screaming.
It works. A lot of men, we advise them
Apostle,
that yes.
I don't know whether you've seen, there's another group on social media where wives go out into the forest. It's like an association. They just scream. They imagine their husbands and they are screaming and shouting. They say, bring out the pain. Wow.
They are venting.
Wow.
We must allow people to vent.
Okay.
What we have not done is that we have not been able to teach people how to vent properly. In our society, people vent with disrespect. They'll vent with abusive words. They'll vent with arrogance. They'll vent. Somebody like men, this is a men's show. A lot of men don't want to talk to their wives again because he spoke to the woman, maybe his vulnerability. When the woman is angry, everything the man said, she's going to use the man's vulnerability against him in the moment of anger. And that's one of the worst things. A man will never forgive a woman that used his vulnerability against him in the moment of anger.
That's true. But can the woman also forgive a man who uses that against him?
Well, this is, we're focusing on men.
No,
if you want us to create a balance.
I am here to create the balance so that doesn't look as if it is only the men that will feel that way.
And the reason why we are saying this is because usually men don't talk. Do you understand that one? You can hardly see a man going out of town talking about the wife. My wife have done this. My wife.
Also, society have changed. Now they can talk.
Wait. We are talking about generic term. We're talking about the generic term. Yeah. On the average. Yeah. On the average, you see that the man will be quiet. The man won't go and talk about the wife have done this to me, have done, because every man of value, once he goes and talk about his wife, he loses value.
Yeah.
So a lot of men will protect the image of their wives, will secure, because once he let it out, he's losing respect, he's losing reverence. Do you know that a lot of men will even stay with their wives if the wife did something bad and nobody's aware about it? So on the average, men usually wouldn't talk. Extreme cases before, everybody has a limit. You should know that.
If when you see a man talking, then it has got
everybody
to that
has a limit. So that's where most of, so I'm talking in general terms. Okay. Women equally, of course. If a woman opens out with her husband, and then in terms of vulnerability, he uses it against the woman, it's serious, because to be vulnerable to someone means you trust the person. No? It means that you've opened up a secret, something you are dealing with, something so serious that you are fighting, and I open up. You can't use it against me.
But Apostle, I want to ask that before you marry a woman, you know to which level she can take, or her intellectual capacity. You know this woman is not somebody. The fact that you are married to that woman doesn't necessarily mean you should open up to her. So if there's another person that this man, not another woman, it could be a counselor, it could be a father, it could be a mentor. Why don't you rather? Because if you know this woman cannot take this load, and you are trying to make her carry this load, it's not too much for her.
Do you know that most women don't want the truth because they are not prepared for the truth? A lot of men wouldn't want to talk to their wife because, you know, you can't take this information now. This information is too heavy. If I give it to you, it will be a load on you. I don't want to tell you. So some men, the reason why they don't even open up or tell you things that even he has done is because you can't handle it. But you know, the female species in general. No, tell me now. Tell me now. Like the woman will tell me now. Tell me now. Tell me now.
But I feel if the man doesn't make her see or hear, she won't demand to know. Am I making sense? Like if the woman is not aware you're going through this, and you have found a great mentor or somebody taking you through, because you need to heal. All that matters at that moment is you need to heal. You don't even need to let her, I wanted to tell you this, but because of this, you are triggering, you are making her feel less of a woman or less of a wife. So she would rather fight it than tell me. But Apostle, don't you think that if I'm speaking to you like the professional, because if you feel, okay, if I'm the man and I know I have a father I can talk to, why must you come and trigger your wife that I'm not opening up to you because I know you can't handle it?
That's why I'm saying that even the fathers, do you know that in Christendom now, you see, I am one of the people who backs one counselor in this country, that we have to stop a lot of pastors from conducting counseling. Because counseling is an act. Counseling work is like a surgeon. So most pastors just use spirituality. And the Bible said, you just give counsel. But people are emotionally bruised. People are emotionally wounded. People are emotionally suffocating.
So who do they talk to?
So people, that's why I'm saying that. So find number one. Mm-hmm. But let me not deviate to, if a man has a wife, women should make themselves available for their husbands to open up to them.
At this point, if opening up is going to affect your home, why must you open up to them?
Okay, so you find a trusted counselor, a counselor that you really, really trust, because in opening up, it depends on intimacy. You don't just open up. You know, how the more I open up to you means I trust you. You understand that one? So even in a relationship, when you start dating someone for 2 months, 3 months, even if you have a child, the first month is not the time to disclose that you have a child. Disclosure happens as you build more trust.
That is in the relationship.
In the relationship, even there are some disclosure, it can only come during counseling time.
Wow, the studio is getting hotter and hotter. Apostle, we don't have much time. How I wish we have more time to discuss, but I think we'll have another episode to draw deeply into this particular topic, because the men out there need to hear and they have to open up. Apostle, before we sign off, I would like you to give my viewers your final words to end this episode.
If you are a man and you are going through depressive moment, you are going through oppressive moment, you are down, you are low, there are 2 signs of a broken man. Number 1, he loses interest in everything that used to interest him. Number 2, he misses his old self. He's trying to find his old self. And then number 3, he dissociates from friends and family. If you are a man, you find yourself like that, then it's critical. You need to reach out for help quickly as possible. And if you know any man who have these 3, they have lost interest in what used to excite them. Number 2, they have disconnected from people, friends, and family. And then you can see that they keep talking about how they miss their past, I used to whatever, and all this stuff. Please stay around such people. Watch out for them. Because if you're not careful, the suicide is committed by such men.
Doc, your final words before we go off.
Okay, so to conclude, what I would say is that emotions have effects on our organ system. Let's pay close attention to our emotions, especially the negative ones, because they end up producing more stress in our body. And this stress is what releases the stress hormones, which ultimately affect our organ system. And anytime we feel stress, let's not remain in that situation. As our counselor has said, let's speak to the right people so that we can be able to dispel or bring out all the negative emotions within. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Apostle. So let's pay attention to especially to the negative emotions. That is where the trouble starts with. Before I sign off, I'd like to say thank you to Gingham for my makeup. I'd like to say thank you to myself for this beautiful apparel. And then see you again next week. Thank you for staying. Bye.
Hi there, have you heard about Mandahub Unplugged? You better watch it. There's a lot to learn. It's informative, it's revealing, it's very healthy for the mental well-being of every single human being, not just men. Don't miss it. I am Ohinere Gifty Auntie, and I love it.
Mandahub Unplugged means life matters.
Hi, my name is Kafui Day. Are you looking for that show about men, for men? Well, watch out for Mandahub Unplugged. Bachelors, married, divorced, searching in complicated relationships. Everything about men, for men. It's Mandahub Unplugged. Stay tuned.
Mandahub Unplugged means life matters.
Do you know encouragement is a two-way sword?
Of course, for both those who are doing very well and those who are not really doing very well, both and everyone needs to be encouraged. In fact, it's a psychological fact and truth that deep-seated in every one of us is that need to be heard and to be loved.
This is one of the most important reasons why Mandahub Unplugged TV show platform is created.
Created to unmute the inner voice of men and to unpack the emotions. Here at Mandahub Unplugged, we educate, we inspire, and we empower men, dads and husbands to become the better and the best versions of themselves.
Do you know of any inspiring story of any male, either dad, either husband or a man.
That you feel that we should talk with or talk to or interact with and feature on our show, or you are that man yourself. You've been locked up, bottled up, so much to share, nobody to talk to, and you're struggling. You yearn to be heard. You yearn to talk to someone. We will listen to you.
Unmute that voice and talk to us.
Mandahub Unplugged.
We got you.
Mandahub Unplugged means life matters.